Hi, Fabulous, and welcome back. And this episode is a continuation of the conversation that I've been opening up recently around what I really believe it means to build freedom. And today I want to talk about something that really became clear for me when I had a brick and mortar business. So I had a brick and mortar business. It was my first business. I always wanted a business. I didn't actually start it or manifest it until in my early 50s. And I thought I made it. I thought I'd hit success. Here it goes. I've got it. But now I realize I didn't want a business that only works when I do. That's what that business taught me. Because for a long time, without even realizing it, that's exactly what I was building. A business that depended on me showing up, depended on me creating. I created the physical product. It relied on me posting daily on social media. It relied on me being on. And if I stopped, everything slowed down or completely stopped, if I'm honest. And from the outside, this can look like success. I was active, I was visible, I was doing all the right things, I was being my own boss, and other people actually said how lucky I was and they wanted what I had. But gradually over time, underneath, there was this quiet dependency, this pressure that I hadn't anticipated. If I didn't show up, nothing moved. If I didn't create, nothing grew. If I took time off, everything paused and the money stopped coming in. Or I could post, but then I would take orders and know that I would have to go back at some point and show up and start creating those orders. So even on vacation, after scheduling posts to go out, it was very, very popular. And then the messages and questions started come flooding in. And I knew I had to act to capture them fast. I couldn't wait to the next day. And one evening, slightly tipsy, if I'm honest, on holiday cocktails, I actually walked down the strip to find a shop to purchase a pen and a notepad to log all those leads. Because trying to do it on my phone while contacting on my phone and keeping a note, it was just easier to write it all down. And that taught me something. I was actually grateful for that time because it taught me what I didn't want. And that's when it really hit me that having my own business, this kind of business, was not freedom. It was responsibility without leverage. And for a while, people actually came to me and asked me for advice on how to set up their own ventures. They may have been making their own cakes from home and they wanted to start their own store and business. They may have been a hairdresser all their life, constantly standing on their feet, working for someone else and giving away most of their earnings. And I did help them do that. But in the end, living my own truth quietly, I couldn't sell that reality anymore. I'd seen a different reality. And this is where everything changed for me because I didn't want just income growth and momentum. I wanted continuity. And now I want a business that works in the background, moves without constant input, supports me, not depends on me. And I think all this stems from living it and seeing it from a different vision from the book The Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, which I have put the link in the show notes. So if you want to carry on listening and then grab that link, you can shoot straight over there. So Robert taught me the missing piece, leverage. It's not just a buzzword, but a necessity. And even though I knew it and I believed I was acting towards it, somehow I slipped back. But now I'm realigned. Leverage to me looks like funnels that work without me being live, content that continues to reach people, systems that guide people without constant input from me, assets that keep working after I've created them, and money that comes in while I sleep or drink cocktails. The interesting thing is, I already had access to all these tools I needed, but I wasn't utilizing them correctly because I was being sold on the constant show up method. So I just swapped my brick and mortar prison, as it were, for an online cage. And when my online vision was meant to be freedom, and it wasn't being that, because I was following other people's methods, believing that they were successful and I should follow them. And if you haven't already listened to it, check out an episode I recorded a couple of episodes ago, before some off the cuff ones I did, which is called A Successful Cage is Still a Cage. I recommend listening to that. So now I'm building a business that I believe is working, it's going to work in the background, moves with me without me constantly pushing it, supports me and not depends on me. To me, it's the difference between constantly doing and building something that continues. Now I can see it scaling, growing, but this is not the vision I see commonly being sold, and I want to start to change the narrative. I want to create a belief in a more aligned method. I don't want a business that needs me at my best every single day just to survive. I want a business that allows for a real life, allows for off days, allows for space, but still moves forward. Like I previously mentioned, I already had access to all of this: funnels, systems, automation, but I was still operating like everything depended on me. And I fell into that subconsciously, because then again, it wasn't just what I was building, it was the energy that was behind it. Then recently, I had a shift in my perspective around the law of attraction and embodiment. And I actually chose to stop because it was such a big wake up call to me, a big impact. I stopped everything I was doing. And from that alignment, I took a huge measure. I decided to reset and build everything anew, literally build everything out from scratch. Because I don't want a business that needs me at my best every single day, like I said, just to survive. I want space. I want sustainability. I want a business that supports my life, not becomes it. So over recent months, I've been building that. And I just have a simple weekly planner that I bought from a stationery section of a local store. And I've written standards on it. And if my actions don't align with those standards, they don't happen. I align now before I act. I don't rush into things. I align and I take time to visualize the life I truly desire. Not only truly desire, believe that is possible now. The one I'm meant to live before, or I was meant to live before societal beliefs and constraints got layered on top and obscured the view of who I am. Now I remember who I came here to be, and I'm catching up with that vision, that higher vision of myself, my soul vision of me, that I believe, thanks to Regan Hillier, that says that it's already out there, being lived by our soul. When we get a desire, that's our soul saying, come here, this is what you want, I'm already living it. It's reminding us to catch up. And I see if I can feel these systems fitting into my desired lifestyle, I act out of accordance with that vision. So honestly, it's not happening quickly, but I like that. Before, I felt like a puppet, believing I had to show up all the time or I would fail. I realise now that it's just a frequency, it's a belief. And that frequency carries a desperate energy behind it of what if? What if I don't show up? What if I don't post a million times a day in a billion different ways? But if I am the face of my business, what if I'm sick? I'm not buying into that BS anymore. And I feel far more happy and more aligned with what I'm creating. I can create something, stop and be proud of it. I can look out the window at the sunshine and go, yeah, that's okay. It's a small step, but it's a solid step and I've built it and now it's there. It's always going to be there. And then when I feel like it, I'll do the next step. And once it's all built out and I can see it, it's a very simple system. And that's all I'm going to focus on now. Well, there's two slightly different sides to it, but it's very simplified, and that's all I'm focusing on. And each time I don't feel energy, don't feel panicked. I align with my instincts and say, right, what is it that I feel that I need to be doing today if I want to do it? And then I do it. And then I know when yeah, that's enough. I'm shutting the laptop or something, and I'm just going to appreciate what's around for me. I don't feel that desperation. I feel so much more confident. I can't think of the word that I was. I've got so much more posture and confidence now working from this way, and it's only been the last few months than I've had over the last goodness knows how many years. I am embodying the woman I know I was meant to be, and I'm acting as her every day. Because to me, that's what real freedom looks like to me now. As I build this vision and I physically live it, I don't want to teach anymore. I used to think I wanted to be a coach. I don't want to teach it anymore. I just want to embody it and be the living example of what's possible. Bob Proctor said, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Anything we ever want is already here, but I don't think we realize that. And he said, if we can see it in our mind, we can hold it in our hand. But if we're not holding it in our hand, we don't believe it's possible. But if we can feel that whatever we envision is already here and trust that it's already ours, and it's just that it's in some other format, if we are not currently physically seeing it or able to hold it, see it, taste it, or touch it, that instills belief. And where attention goes, energy flows, they say, then the universe will begin to orchestrate miracles like you have never known. And recently, as I've been acting out of this in separate things like something that I want to do with my home, I started taking to small actions. And then I'm going off on a tangent, but I had a project that I wanted to do with the front of our house that had got a bit, I suppose, dilapidated. Some work we did during COVID, it's got tired now, it needed doing. And I went on to ChatGPT and Amazon. Yeah, totally going off on this tangent. I tend to go to ChatGPT more than Amazon. I just brain dump. I just voice note, transcribe it, and then so I wanted some products, etc. And then I didn't think until I'd actually ordered the products, and then there was a knock on the door, and there was two very industrious young boys who, bless them, asked if they could pull the weeds out of our front garden um, for £1. And I initially said, oh, actually, because I'd bought the weed killer and everything, oh, thank you, but I've already just ordered some products from Amazon. They're coming tomorrow. And then I thought, no, most kids today, they want everything on a plate. They think the world owes them a living. These two young boys have knocked on my door and offered to pull my weeds out to save me to do it. So I said, oh, actually, boys, I said, yes, please. I would like you to do that, but I'm going to pay you more than a pound. And they were like, no, 50p each. And I was like, no. And during that time, then a window cleaner turned up. We haven't had a window cleaner for ages. And again, a really nice, industrious man turned up and offered to clean the windows. And I thought, yeah, okay. Because I believe, well, I'm paying somebody else to do that. I can be working on the things that I love. I can be making the money to pay these people. And then my partner came home, to be honest, he seen the two boys lying on our front garden and he was going to tell them to F off. And they came in, I went, no, they've come and knocked on the door and but I've only got a bit of change. They wanted £1 between them. I said, I've managed to scrape this change together. And he was like, because we do as we do, we have cards. I didn't have any more cash. And he said, I've got some cash somewhere. So he scrabbled together some cash for them. And then when they finished, he said, you're going to come with me? And we gave him it. And they were like, oh my goodness. Their faces, they said, oh, we decided this afternoon that we wanted to generate some money for something. They didn't tell us what it was. They told us how much it was. It was Easter. Maybe they wanted to buy their parents Easter eggs, maybe just thinking it as I'm brainstorming now. And they were absolutely over the moon. So they had made a decision and they had taken inspired action. Then they came to my door. We'd given the exact money that they wanted. They actually knocked on the next door where I think the weeds were actually coming from. And they paid them some money and they cleared it. And then I stopped to think, and this is evidence of once you align with something and you believe it, that it's yours and that you've already got it in some shape or form, then the universe conspires to make it happen. So this, to me, these little boys knocking on my door and then the window cleaner was evidence that my house, the way I envisage it, is already manifested. And then I put that belief onto what I'm building with my business and the future life I want. This is showing me that if I take inspired action, then, and I've already embodied it and believed it, the universe will show me evidence and give me back that. So yeah, instead of embodying the frequency, I've now already act out accordingly, like it's already done. So if you're building right now or thinking of building and that everything depends on you, or that's the way you think you have to do it, this isn't about getting it wrong. It's about seeing it differently. Like I said, I don't think the general conversation has caught up with this way of doing things yet. It believes another way. It's portraying another way. And this takes me back to, I know I did an off the cuff episode where I was angry at the personal development YouTube videos that I was watching. It was still this very masculine, by me energy, which is what I fell into with the law of attraction. I got it that I had to take action, but I believed everything had to be done by me. And then I edged the universe out. And I couldn't believe that these messages were still going out there. But I feel that a masculine energy is more forthright and confident than a feminine one. We believe it, we feel it, but we don't articulate it so much. So now I believe I'm seeing the next level. And if this resonates with you, this is exactly why I'm building and teaching. Well, not really teaching. It is what I'm emulating, embodied inside, aligned and free, where alignment meets leverage, so your business can support your life. And if you're wondering what aligned and free is, you'll find the link in the show notes. It's the first step in what I have been building to be in proximity to a new way of living and being. So thank you for being here and taking the time to listen to this. And I will speak to you on the next episode.